All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Chick Chat. I wasn't expecting to be back so fast, and I'm without a co host today because let me just make sure I'm live actually. Okay, because Tyler's baby mama decided to speak out as of like 20-30 minutes ago. I can't believe I've caught it so fast, but here we are. So let me just make sure I am live. It says I am, but I don't. I'm just trying to make sure I can actually see myself live. So bear with me. Okay, here I am. Okay, so I want to live react with you guys. I'm going to dive deeper into this with Brooke when we're able to film together when the wedding episodes drop. But this is going to be a little bit of technical issues because I've not ever live streamed a video, but I do have my Instagram open on here. So we're going to listen to what she has to say. Remember, this man told us that he was a donor for his friends. Okay. He said that he was friends with a lesbian couple who was trying to have a baby and they could not conceive on their own, obviously. So he decided to donate. He told Ashley that these kids probably don't know what he looks like and, he's not around, he's not a present father, whatever. Well, I have her Instagram pulled up. Her name is Bree, and we're going to listen to what she has to say. I'm going to live react with you guys. I did watch the videos beforehand, and I am shook, which is why I had to hurry up and hop on here. This is going to be a quick live just to show what she has to say. So bear with me while I get that pulled up. And yeah, I was shook by the whole thing. I mean, obviously, we've been hearing for a minute that he has these kids and that he was always a present father. So let's get this pulled up here. This is her Instagram. I might have to unhook my mic just so we can hear it. And I want to make sure we can hear it. So this is her Instagram. Her name is Bree. These are the kids. I don't really want to show too much of the kids just because, they're kids. So I'm not really trying to show too much of them. I know we showed them last time, the viral posts that are going around, but I don't really want to dive too deep into her Instagram. I just want to show what she has to say. So before we play this, I'm going to unhook myself and hopefully y'all can hear this. So I'm going to try to make sure on my phone that we can hear this.
So unfortunately, I think it's time that I come out and say my side of the story. I wrote some notes down that I'm going to read. One, because I'm nervous. Anyone who knows me knows that I'm a shy person. I am a private person. I do not like all of my business out in the world for everyone to see and know. But that is just the situation that we're in right now. Out of my control. But I feel like it's important in order for me to move on from this and to clear everything up, that I state the truth. So there was a time in which Tyler was one of my best friends. Even now, he's still the father of my 3 beautiful children. And considering that my intent here is not to bash Tyler, however, as a mother, I'm compelled to defend my babies and myself and attempt to protect them from a narrative that just must end. A narrative that is not only purely inaccurate, but unfair to my children and myself. So with that being said, here it is. So unfortunately, I think it's time that I come out and say my side of the story. I wrote some notes down that I'm going to read. One, because I'm nervous. Anyone who knows me knows that I'm a shy person. I am a private person. I do not like all of my business out in the world for everyone to see and know. but that is just the situation that we're in right now. Out of my control. But I feel like it's important in order for me to move on from this and to clear everything up, that I state the truth. So there was a time in which Tyler was one of my best friends. Even now, he's still the father of my 3 beautiful children. And considering that my intent here is not to bash Tyler, however, as a mother, I'm compelled to defend my babies and myself and attempt to protect them from a narrative that just must end. A narrative that is not only purely inaccurate, but unfair to my children and myself. So with that being said, here it is.
All right, so y'all heard that was her part 1. We're going to go to part 2. I'm just going to keep going part to part, so you guys aren't going to hear me talk for a little bit. I'm just going to let her tell her whole truth, and then we will talk for a few minutes. And then honestly, we're going to really deep dive into this when we get Brook back in a few days, when we talk about the wedding special. So just had to get this out there because I don't know how long this is going to be on her Instagram. So let's get to it. Part 2.
Okay. In regards to our oldest child, Cairo, Tyler was initially only supposed to be helping me and my ex-wife. He was helping us conceive. It was understood that Tyler was not supposed to assume a father role in Kai's life, hence my ex-wife's name being on the birth certificate. Shortly prior to me giving birth to Cairo, my ex-wife left me and moved back to her home state of California. She flew back for Kai's birth, packed the rest of her things, and then moved back to California. My ex-wife and I originally planned and agreed to co-parent as best as we could across the country. But things were very, very rocky for us. Soon after, my ex-wife petitioned the court for full custody of Cairo. It was then that things started to shift. Tyler, as my best friend, was there for me, helping me through this extremely, extremely tough time in my life. And for that, I'll always be thankful for him, and I wouldn't change a thing. Suddenly, one day I received a text from Tyler, and he asked me if I would be okay with him being a father to Cairo, because he did not want Cairo to be raised by a single mother as he had. So we spoke about this. We had a deep discussion about what that would mean for him to be stepping up as a father to Cairo, and what it would look like as far as financial responsibility, helping out, being an active parent in his life, being present. And after much thought and consideration, I agreed to this proposition from Tyler. Since that moment when Cairo, Tyler has been considered to be and has acted as a father to Cairo. Okay. In regards to our oldest child, Cairo. All right. So now as far as the twins, unlike Cairo, the twins were simply unplanned. If that needs to be spelled out for some people, Callie and Kamari are the results of natural, unplanned intercourse with absolutely no complexity surrounding parentage. They were conceived before Cairo turned 1, and I fully admit, I have not always been the most comfortable with that truth, due to the fact that I've lived the majority of my life as a lesbian. Nonetheless, it is exactly that, the truth. Tyler was there with me the entire way, extremely supportive. We went to doctor's appointments together. We even were living together. He was there throughout my entire pregnancy, at the time of the delivery, and throughout my entire stay in the hospital after birth. He signed the birth certificates. He cut the umbilical cords. Yeah. His mom and sister came and visited me in the hospital, visited us in the hospital after the twins were born, etc. Again, there has never been any confusion or additional context surrounding the twins' origin. We left the hospital as parents of 3 children. Tyler and I, as I already said, like, we lived together for over a year in an attempt to give the kids a 2-parent household, with the understanding that we were still going to be dating other people. Yeah. So as I already implied with that, I will say Tyler and I have never officially been together. We never truly dated. But we had these kids, and we were raising these kids together. We were co-parenting these children together. And we were legit, or I felt like we were best friends. I truly hate that I had to provide an explanation in hopes of defending myself and my children. I just could not continue to sit back and allow what was being said about me and the kids to continue on and just be lied on and just sit here. What's further upsetting is that Tyler was at my house the day before he left for this show. He came to see the kids. He came to say goodbye. I wished him luck. So this is why it's just very hard for me to understand what happened. The kids even sent him a video on his birthday last year while he was in the pods, wishing him a happy birthday. So in my head, there was a chance he was going to find love. I wished this for him. I just did not think that meant that he would neglect his children. After Tyler got back from Mexico, he reached out to me. He let me know he was alive. It wasn't until I began asking him when he was going to see the kids that I started to notice something was off. I let him know that the kids missed him. I updated him on their lives, but I could tell things were off. He kept giving excuses as to why he couldn't see them. And then one day I noticed that he deleted his Facebook, which is where all the pictures that he would post of the kids and him with the kids, that's where all the pictures were. And once I saw that he deleted his Facebook, I instantly knew what he was doing. And I was completely heartbroken for my children. I thought everything was okay between us. I never imagined or thought that he would attempt to disown our kids. We even discussed me and the kids possibly being at the wedding prior to him leaving, if he had made it that far. So it's honestly just all really surreal. I was and continue to be completely disappointed by all this, and how he was ignoring my requests for help with the children and just seeing them. So I decided, and I continue to fight for all the back child support that he owes me. I filed for contempt of court, and that is ongoing. And also, out of disappointment, I also filed to change the twins' last names so that they could all have the same last name. I want to add, in fairness, I understand that there is an argument to suggest that despite him wanting and accepting the role as Kai's dad, that maybe he doesn't or shouldn't have any responsibility for Cairo. While I and the courts at this point disagree, I respect this argument. However, there's nothing and absolutely no context that exists that would suggest the same for the twins. With that, Tyler hasn't spoken to or seen the kids since September 30th of 2023. That was the day before he left for this show. And that's why I'm so beyond hurt and angry with him about all of this. Because it just didn't have to be this way. It shouldn't be this way. I completely supported his decision to go on this show. I wanted him to find love. I wanted him to find happiness. I just didn't think that involved disowning his kids in any way. I can't wrap my head around why he felt the best way to do that would be to cut off the kids, then to make matters worse, lie on national television and say they're merely sperm babies and they don't know what he looks like. Yeah, that it all hurts. I understand this is everyone's entertainment, but this is our real lives. And it sucks. It really sucks. But if the intent here was to protect me and the children, although I appreciate that, as their mother, I feel like the best way to do that would have been to maybe not speak about children at all on the show. My brain does not understand how going on the show on national television and denouncing them to sperm babies is protecting them. And with this, my heart is truly completely broken for my children and for myself. I lost my best friend. My children have been disowned and at this point disrespected by their father. I just pray every single day that they don't grow up and see any of this, and just ready for it all to be over, and praying that at some point I start getting the financial support that I feel like we are owed.
Okay, can you hear me now? Let me double check on my phone. Okay. So that was what she had to say. Sorry about the mic situation. I had to take my mic out so this way you could hear her audio. So, yeah. But, anyways, that's what she had to say. I am so shook by this. I mean, I knew we were going to find out something about this whole situation. The photos came out, and that was telling. His eyes were shifting all kinds of ways when he was talking to Ashley. Yeah, it's horrible. I think what we learned here was that he was telling a half truth, right? That yes, he was helping out his friend who was in a relationship or who was married to another woman and they couldn't have a baby on their own. Okay, that's a half truth. But then he decided to then help her parent the child when the other person decided to back out of the situation and then they tried to go for full custody. It sounds like a mess. So, yeah, he decided to be the admirable person and take on being a parent. But then once it suited him, he also exited that role. That's not something you can't do that. But then to find out that the twins were conceived the old natural way, oof, like it's one thing to have this weird issue going on with one child, but you have 3 children and they all wished you happy birthday. They were all supportive of you going to find love. And now here we are, and you're like disowning all of them. And for a year, it makes me wonder if Ashley said yes. I'm really wondering if Ashley said yes. In fact, she might have, because he disowned these kids for a whole year and now he's, being come after for back support. I mean, Ashley, girl, run. Even if you got married to this man, nope. He told you on national TV that these kids probably don't know what they look like after they share his whole entire face. His whole entire face. I'm about to pull up a picture right now really quick. But I'm just so, I don't know. What do you guys think? What are your thoughts on this whole thing? Because I'm beside myself. I had to hop on here really quick just to share what she had to say, because I really don't know if it's gonna continue to be on Instagram, if she's gonna end up taking it down. I do feel bad. She's just a normal person who's just trying to live her life. All of a sudden, her and her kids were abandoned. I'm sure she thought, okay, maybe this guy isn't coming back around again because he found love or whatever. I'm sure she probably put 2 and 2 together. But to literally see him disown them on television like they were just a couple of sperm bank babies, wow. I mean, the men this season were complete trash, and I don't care. Almost all of them complete trash. I think almost the best one was Nick, and he was the one that was talked crap about the most by his person. So I mean, if I was Hannah, I'd be feeling relieved that that's the man I got, because all these other men, complete trash. Let's see. I want to pull up a photo real quick, because this man lied to us, lied to his girl. Look at this. These kids have his whole face. He was a present father, and he decided to be a present father. Nobody told this man that he had to do anything. And she lost her best friend at this point. Now she's lost the father of her children. I feel horrible for this girl. I truly do. I can't believe it. I hope he gets ripped to shreds at this reunion, like Nick Lachey ripped Trevor to shreds, to the point where they didn't even show all the footage. They said it was like an hour bashing of Trevor. I think they said they filmed the reunion for like 4 hours last year, and we only got like an hour of it. So yeah, Trevor went through it. This guy better go through it like none other. And yes, Trevor was trash, but this is dumpster fire. I'm beside myself. 3 whole children. I mean, I've heard things that the grandmother has said, but now for Bree to come out and speak the truth of what's going on, I believe every word she said. There is no reason for her to lie. And like she said, they lived together. These kids wished him well on his birthday. They talked about going to the wedding if he makes it that far. Netflix, do better vetting out these people, because like she said, this man took down his whole Facebook, and once she saw that, she knew exactly what was going on. I feel horrible for this girl. I'm shook. I'm beside myself. I can't even imagine how she feels or how these kids feel. But don't worry, Bree's story is in the beginning of this video. When it is posted, you'll be able to listen to her whole Instagram thing, but she did a 5-part where she talked about this whole situation. And I don't know, Tyler gave us a lot of half truths, but mostly lies. I can't believe it. And to conceive the 2 twins naturally. So you fathered them, you signed the birth certificate. You're responsible for them. I truly hope Ashley said no, but I have a bad feeling she said yes, just because, and not even all the stuff that's been going around online, okay? But just because she said that he hasn't spoken to her or the kids in a year. And she used to live with this man, and they used to parent these children together. I couldn't imagine. I feel horrible for this girl. I can't believe that this is what it's come down to. Yeah. Oh my gosh, beside myself. And I can't wait to get into it with Brooke a little bit more because I know she's got thoughts on this. It's kind of what we were wondering when we filmed last time about Love is Blind. We went live last time. We were like, well, so it could have been that kind of situation. But yes, the first kid is a sperm donation situation where the girl was in a relationship married to another girl. They wanted to have their own baby. Wasn't really happening, so he decided to donate that way. I don't know how the donation happened. I don't know if it was a baster thing, or I don't know if it was an all natural thing, okay? No idea the actual logistics of that. But after the child was born, the girl dipped out. They were doing co-parenting long distance, and then she wanted to go for full custody, and that's when he decided to come back in the picture, and he was like, you know what? Instead of you being a single mom and everything, how about I, step up and I be the dad for this kid? And then they lived together. They decided to bump uglies at one point, and she said, it's uncomfortable for her because she is a lesbian, and that's what she is. And I can imagine how uncomfortable having to explain all this to hundreds of thousands of strangers would be, especially when you didn't sign up for this show. But yeah, so the twins were conceived all natural. And yeah, apparently this man's going to owe a bunch of back child support, probably end up getting a divorce. I mean, honestly, if I was Ashley, I would never. If they're together, which I'm kind of assuming that they are, hopefully I'm wrong. I really hope that I'm wrong, but I have a real bad feeling that this girl said yes at the altar. And I just feel horrible. I couldn't not jump on here and talk to you guys about it. I even texted Brooke. I'm like, I might have to talk about this because I can't. I had to get the initial reaction because when I saw this, it was only like 7 minutes old. So if you missed it, please rewind to the beginning of the video. That is when she talks her whole story. Yeah, I don't have much else to say other than, wow, Tyler is just as bad as I thought he was. We'll dive deeper into it in a few days when the wedding episodes drop and we go live. But man, this man really about had everybody fooled. Had this situation not come up at all, we all would have thought him and Ashley were the end game. But oof, when somebody tells you who they are by lying to you or lying by omission or whatever, just believe them. That's all I got to say, because poor Ashley, poor Bree. I mean, this man, I think this is worse than Steven. I think this is worse than all of them. I think he's the worst one that we've ever seen on Love is Blind, just for this reason. Because it's not just that he lied, it's that he disowned these kids. And the way he's treating these kids just to be with Ashley. It's one thing to be like, what he could have done to begin with is just left it as a sperm donor situation and let her just be a single parent. I mean, it's shitty. I shouldn't even be swearing, sorry. It's crappy, but it's much better than being in a child's life and then deciding you don't want to be anymore. Like, this kid's going to be asking questions. Even if the twins aren't asking questions, he's going to be asking questions. All I have to say is these poor kids. I mean, ugh. Does anybody have any final thoughts before I go? Feel free to drop those or anything you want to talk about real quick. But man, these men this season, I am just not impressed. I am not impressed. This man is for the birds. I'm not impressed. So yeah, thank y'all for joining and thank y'all for seeing the live. Oh yes, this reunion, they better press this man. You know, I've been making fun of these reunions because the last reunion they had that huge table full of food to kind of let us know that they're feeding these people after all the lawsuits that have been coming out. But oh my gosh, I'm beside myself because yeah, this man better get it. And if I was Ashley and I married him, I would not be sitting next to him. That's for sure. That is for absolute sure. Yeah. Yeah, this reunion's going to be the messiest one yet. I thought this whole Jeremy situation was ridiculous last season. This is so much worse. Oh yeah. I missed a part about Hannah last time. Thank you for bringing her up. She was a lot. I was not a fan of her. In fact, I think Nick is the only good guy in this whole season. So she should be happy that she got him, but the whole time she tore him apart. And, I think it's one of those things where, like, maybe when she watches herself, she will realize that she is quite difficult. I mean, yeah. But the way that she talked about their ex life when he asked her not to, and then the way she drug him out for that, I mean, it sounds like she was his second girlfriend ever. So there needs to be a little bit of grace in that situation. And yeah, I think she was very unclassy as well. Yeah, but this live's mainly about Tyler. But yeah, this was probably like the worst season of people ever. Most of the girls had their stuff together. Ashley was amazing. There was quite a few of them that had it together, but yeah, this season was just horrible for that. I heard the UK season was so much better, and I'm gonna actually watch it. But yeah, so everybody on here is like here for clout at this point. They're all here to get on TV, to get their brand deals, probably get on Perfect Match. She's a newly skinny former fatty that thinks that she's now on Ozempic and she has to adopt the Mean Girls attitude. Oof. Yeah, well, I will say this girl be looking like Marsha Brady right now. So whatever she's doing is working for her. But hopefully, I think what's more important than being pretty on the outside is being pretty on the inside. And hopefully she has learned something. But this Tyler stuff is just complete trash. It's one thing to talk crap about somebody, or it's one thing to act like Hannah, but when you got kids involved, to disown these kids, no, you're for the birds. You are for the birds. I hope the Lachey's tear him apart, especially Vanessa Lachey even. Nick went real hard on Trevor last season, but I'm ready for Vanessa Lachey to stop talking about babies. She's so concerned about babies all the time, so she should be fighting for these babies. Any final thoughts before I jump off here? Because this is just a quickie, because trust me, once I get Brook back on here, we're going to go deep into this man. This man is a disgrace, a huge disgrace. Yeah. And if you missed it, at the beginning of the video, I did share all of Bree's lives. Well, I shouldn't say lives, all of Bree's videos that she shared on Instagram a little bit ago. When I saw it was about 7 minutes old, so I was like, let me drop on here real quick. So this is all just thrown together last minute. But thank y'all for joining, and definitely catch it on the replay if you did not see it. And then we'll be on Thursday afternoon to talk about the wedding special, and I can't wait for that reunion, y'all. I'm going to have my pop of corn. My pop of corn, and I'm going to sit and enjoy. And I swear, if these people don't tear these people to shreds, because we've had a few reunions where they didn't ask the hard questions, but I think after that one reunion where we were asking for a recall of these hosts, then they started going at these people. So I'm ready. Well, thank y'all for joining, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye, ChickChat.